everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Wednesday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And today I've got this article for you about a autistic worker who used to work for a high street store here in the UK called Marks and Spencer's, and the article is from hrmagazine.co.uk, which I'll link down below in the video description. And the headline reads, "Autistic M&S worker unfairly dismissed for harassment allegation." So we're going to scan down now. As you can see the picture of M&S on the screen, I'm going to scan down to what the actual information says and read it to you and then come to my own conclusions. A tribunal has found that retailer Marks and Spencer unfairly fired an autistic man after a colleague complained about his behaviour. Jack Clark was employed by Marks and Spencer's between July 2015 and July 2022 at stores in Oxfordshire and was hired as part of a scheme implemented to get people with disabilities back into work. A colleague complained about his conduct after he leaned against her back and side one evening in June 2022, which she felt was sexual and made her uncomfortable and frightened. So I'm going to keep scanning down. Clark was arrested but later released, and the case was dealt with by means of a community resolution order. Clark said that leaning on people for comfort was a common trait of his when he was in distress due to his autism, and something he does with his parents. At the time, he said he was upset due to management failing to implement adjustments which had been agreed to manage his stress. The tribunal heard that his need to take breaks when overwhelmed and follow a consistent schedule was not adhered to after management changes in December of 2021. Following an internal investigation, he was then later sacked for gross misconduct. However, a tribunal upheld claims of unfair dismissal and discrimination arising from his disability. His claims of indirect discrimination and failure to make reasonable adjustments were upheld in part. Warren Moores, the senior associate at law firm SAS Daniel Solicitors, said if an incident could have been influenced by an employee's disability, this needs to be taken into account of any internal investigation. Speaking to HR Magazine, he said, and quote, "In a misconduct situation where an employee's behaviour may have been caused by their disability, the employer should take this into account, or it could lead to claims of discrimination and unfair dismissal. Investigations like this often require medical input as to the full extent to which any disability may have influenced the employee's action, because neither the employer nor employee are normally medically trained to make such an assessment." Then it goes on to say, however, Moores added that if the employee's actions were disability-related, action can still be undertaken. He said, "It may indeed be reasonable to sanction an employee for their conduct in certain circumstances. Take an example of an employee who, due to their disability, has symptoms of short temper and anger. If the employee is aware of their behaviour but fails to take reasonable steps to manage it and throws a chair at someone, it may be still reasonable to discipline them." Moores also said that sometimes an employer can legally dismiss an employee because although it is agreed their behaviour is entirely related to their disability, it means that they are incapable of doing their job. A spokesperson for M&S has said, "We are committed to providing an inclusive place of work for everyone. We also have a zero-tolerance approach to inappropriate conduct of any kind, and when such conduct takes place, we will act to ensure we are meeting our duty to provide a safe and welcoming workplace for all our colleagues." And that's the end of the article for now. So basically what M&S did is they jumped to the person who made the allegation of harassment against this autistic worker, and it seems that they've believed this person rather than taking into the full account of this young man's autism. They hired him full well knowing he had autism spectrum disorder, so therefore the responsibility falls on Marks and Spencer's to have equal training and to give him his scheduled routine of work, hours, work structure, so he knows what he's expected to do and how he's expected to behave and who he's expected to associate with. And when the management changed in December 2021, he should have been well informed of that before the changes even happened, said, look, okay, things are going to have to change because autistic people, again, don't deal with change. So again, they have failed him with regards to reasonable adjustments, which he should have had, which he is still entitled to. And I do believe 100% that he was sacked unfairly. I think this is a unfair dismissal case. I think Marks and Spencer's should go on a autism disability related training course. I think that this employee should get some kind of compensation reward for trauma and damage because they unfairly sacked him on suspicion of being inappropriate to this other colleague, which I don't think he was. I think she or he mistook it and took it as a way to, oh, well, he's a bit weird, you know. He acted inappropriate, he touched me. Yes, he may have leant on your back because he was probably leaning against the shelf and leaning against you because you're probably doing some shelf work. To me, that's harmless. I don't see how that's sexual in any kind, any shape, any form whatsoever. I think you deliberately caused him to want to get sacked. I think you deliberately made an opportunity to complain against him. And I think Marks and Spencer should have known better. I think they should have took the side of the autistic person better. I believe they should have took into account he needed more support, and they hired him knowing that this was a scheme for people with disabilities. So why did they not take his side? Why did they not support him properly? Why was it left for him to go to a tribunal to get this unfair dismissal case actually put in the public media? And I think it's such a shame that, again, this shows within the 22nd, 23rd century that we are still behind in autism acceptance, autism awareness. I think Marks and Spencer have done wrong this time around. They have let a disabled employee down. They have failed to look after his needs, his background. They have failed to support him in the most human basic needs. I think the other employees should have at least had some kind of warning for making up such an allegation. I don't think there was any harassment meant. I think she took it as the wrong way and twisted it for her own narrative. And I think, unfortunately, that has now resulted in this autistic guy being fired. And I hope that M&S, Marks and Spencers, do in the future realise what they've done and should not fire someone based on one complaint. It should be investigated. It should be looked into before coming to the judgment call of sacking somebody. I think this was due negligence. I think it was something that should have been not happened. I think that now a lot of autistic people with disabilities, are going to be afraid to apply for work because they're going to be scared of getting sacked or let go because of one complaint that's put against them for said inappropriate behaviour, said wrong behaviour. And I think this is just a case of miscommunication. It's a misunderstanding of autism. It's a misunderstanding of the autism spectrum. So let me know what you think down below. Do you agree with Marks and Spencer's for sacking him, or do you agree with me? Please let me know in the comment section down below, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.